Welcome to the Collaborative. I'm your host, Sydney Walker. Today we are joined by Shannon Domingsil. Shannon is a social media programmer and producer at the NFL, where she specializes in TikTok and multi-platform content creation. Since 2020, she has helped increase the NFL's TikTok following from 5.2 million to 14.7 million. Not only is Shannon curating content for socials, but she is also an independent music artist. Her first single, Running Back by SHANNY, is out on all streaming platforms. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
First up, we have Sid's This or That Fall Edition. I'll give you some choices and you'll give me your preference. First, pumpkin or apple cider?
Ooh, I love apple cider vinegar, so I'm gonna say apple cider, even though that's not what you said.
Hey, it counts. I'm going with pumpkin on this one.
I love it.
Corn maze or pumpkin patch?
Pumpkin patch.
I agree with you. Sweater or flannel?
Ooh, sweater, oversized.
Good choice, but I think I'm going to go with flannel.
Oh, okay.
And last but not least, watch sports or watch a movie?
Well, since I watch sports for work, I'll say watch a movie.
I figured you would say that. Good to get a break sometimes.
Exactly.
Shannon, let's kick things off by talking about one of your passions. Outside of work, you are an independent music artist. What inspired you to get into music?
So I've been singing and performing since I was 5 years old, and I just always did it. I took I guess you could call it a break just because so I'm originally from Hawaii and I went to California for college. I went to Chapman University, and because I was away and I was going to college and all of that, I like stopped voice lessons. I still did things throughout campus, but being a first generation first daughter, like going to college was my parents' absolute, like, you need to finish school, you need to graduate, you need to have a degree in something. They wanted it to be nursing, but it wasn't. It was film school. And so with that and with college, I was able to still, cater to that passion that is singing and performing. But it wasn't until recently, in the last like year or two, I would say like 2 years, that I felt that calling of like, you gotta do it, you gotta start, you gotta try at least, and just so that I myself can be like, I mean, I'm not gonna fail. I'm gonna absolutely crush it and continue to blow up. But, even in the long run, just in general, right? Like I just want to be like, I did it and I tried, and I know what it's like, and et cetera, et cetera. Just because I have so many dreams, I have so many passions, I have so many gifts I feel like God has given me. So it just felt like a calling in that moment, but it's always been in my genes. I'm Filipino, and like, if you guys know, Filipinos, they love to sing, they love karaoke, they love Beyonce, they love Celine Dion, they love Mariah Carey and all of those things. So it's just always been in my genes.
That's such a beautiful testimony and so amazing that you're able to pursue your dreams that way. So you've been a key part of the NFL's TikTok presence, helping them grow from 5.2 million to 14.7 million followers. How do you optimize content to not only attract new fans, but also keep the attention of avid football fans?
In terms of content for everyone, I mean, for the most part, program a lot of our TikTok content, and I'm on the social team that programs everything across the board for at NFL, at NFL Network, and at the Checkdown across platforms. So TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. But in terms of TikTok, right? Like, if you guys have TikTok, if you use TikTok, you're not just seeing people you follow on your feed. Obviously, your For You page shows any and all videos, whether, it's something that you're interested in, or maybe like you're not, or it just pops up on your page or whatever. The main thing with that is context. So with the NFL, I, for the past 4 years, programming uh on that platform, you kind of get a sense of, okay, even if someone doesn't know or understand football, how can I make them care, or how can I explain it to them in a way that would make them care or stay to watch the video? So, like I said, with context on Instagram, for example, you can just say Patrick Mahomes, does this. On TikTok, right? You would say Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, and then whatever it is. And you kind of have to like paint the picture for the viewer because you want them like, for example, like this crazy one-handed interception. And it's like, that sounds cool. What is it? So it's again context of bridging non-football fans and obviously giving avid or casual football fans a taste into the NFL, but still keeping it as lighthearted and as approachable as possible.
That's a really good point. And even for those avid football fans, they've probably already seen the play, but it's like, hey, what is the NFL putting on TikTok? They probably have a different point of view. So just seeing what you guys cook up, and you and your team do a really great job.
Thanks.
So you're currently in the thick of the NFL season. What does a typical day look like for you in terms of content ideation and creation?
So for game days, so Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, it's really just whatever's happening. Obviously, on a Sunday, you could imagine with sometimes 10 games going on at a time, it's just cut after cut after cut after cut. And, it's not every single play that we're posting, obviously, because that would be too much. But all the big plays, all the things that make us go, whoa, or make us laugh, or, of course, a touchdown or a crazy pass, a crazy juke, or anything like that. That's just always kind of a given, I guess, in terms of what we look for when we post. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays are for the most part like a mixture of catching up on whatever we missed on Monday or Sunday, prepping for the upcoming new week of games, storylines, anything like that. And then for me, Fridays and Saturdays are my day offs. But we because social is an always on type of thing, we do have somebody on Fridays and Saturdays. But again, it's the same sort of thing where it's like those in between days are always days where we're prepping for the next thing, or like on a Friday is things that we maybe missed or didn't get up yet or saw, and we were like, oh, let's get this first thing in the morning from Thursday night's game.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And that's kind of an advantage you have with the NFL because they have the least amount of games compared to some other leagues. Networking plays a huge role in this field. How have you navigated building relationships, and what advice do you have for those in the room today?
So in terms of getting the NFL job, I take a lot of pride in saying that I just got myself to where I am today. I know relationships and fostering, those connections are super important, but I didn't have that coming into the NFL. I was just somebody who worked really hard and who liked football. I had no sports experience, no sports internship, not one. So it really is as well about how can you bring all of the things that you've learned into a field like sport.
Lastly, if you could go back in time, is there anything you would do differently, or would you follow the same path to get to where you are today?
No, I don't think I would change anything. I mean, uh, along the path, right? You're like, why is this taking so long? Or like, why isn't anything working out? And blah, 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 blah. Like I was looking for jobs 6 months post college. So I was like, am I not good enough? Does no one want to hire me? And then obviously 6 months after graduating, I get hired by the NFL and I'm like, oh, phew, I am good enough. Like that's so crazy that I thought that. So I think everything happens for a reason, right? And it happens the way it's supposed to. You're not on the same path as anyone. You're not walking at the same speed or running at the same speed. And I think you kind of just have to trust where things go. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but for me personally, I always try to remind myself rejection is redirection, and you never know, right? Like because when I was applying to all of those jobs within those 6 months and I got hired there, I never would have looked for a job at the NFL because I was already hired somewhere else, and I would not be where I am today. And I don't know if I would be pursuing music. I don't know if I would be in LA. I don't know, you know what I mean? So I think everything very much happens for a reason. It happens the way it's supposed to, and the timing of it all, speaking from my personal experience, is all in God's timing for me.
I love that message, and I like how you said not everyone's on the same path because you never know what the steps someone took to get to where they are. So just focus on yourself, stay in your lane, and put those blinders on.
Exactly.
Shannon, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat with us tonight. Really enjoyed learning more about your role and your background in social and just more about your personal life. So thank you so much for the gems you dropped today. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for coming. And if you have any streaming platforms, my first single, Running Back, is out under Shanny.